starting with the painting guide. We see it's in our very standard dragon format. So I'll just pull you in so you can have a better look. So you can see very nicely laid out. But one thing to draw your note, which will really separate these from your more standard styrene models, is the incredible part count per figure. So I would not recommend these type of kits to beginner figure modelers. It's just because they are very intensive, require quite a bit of dry fitting and filling. But if you can get them, again, like I was saying before, if you can get them for cheap, put them into your stash, build a few cheaper kits, and then come to these, because you can't get nice results out of these. Again, we have our little splinter cam color call out. These are a little bit busy, but again, it's to be expected with Gen 2. We have our mortar assembly. Again, very easy to follow, very run-of-the-mill type of instructions. So let's actually look at the parts. That's what we're here for. So, unlike many of Dragon's actually newer kits, you actually get a Dragon card. Now I'll unbag these in a moment, but I actually just wanted to show you what you get out of the box. I've unbagged everything else. So we'll have a quick look at the small photo-etched fret that's included in the kit. Again, really nice detail. We can have some belt buckles up here, weapon slings, the German eagles, and a few other smaller bits and bobs. These work and they don't work in different ways. I always kind of find that when you put down belt buckles and you put a layer of paint over them, they tend to disappear a little bit. But again, it's a very nice inclusion in the kit. So we'll have a look at the mortar. So again, detail is very nice. Mortar barrel is hollow, very nice detail. We have some spare ammunition. Ammunition boxes can be modelled open with the ammo in it if you want them to be. So again, very, very nice detail. Some really nice features with Gen 2 are the weapon options. Wait till you see the detail on these. So we have an SG-44 with spare magazine, which I like. That's very handy for diorama purposes. If you note these two objects here, that's actually the gun lock or the breech of the Grau 43, and you can actually model it with the breech open or the breech closed, and it's the same with the MP40 with the weapon cocked and uncocked. Again, two spare magazines, and we get two versions. We get the version with the stock folded and stock extended. There's our Grau or G43. Then we have another sprue of weapons, which are the ubiquitous K98 rifle or carbine. So again, same as before, we have our bolt lock groups in two options: bolt closed and bolt open. So these are a bit fragile, so be aware of that while removing them. We also have a few stripper clips, again very finely reproduced and a lot of diorama potential, and the same on this side here. Moving on to the final part of the Dragon cart is the actual Fallschirm helmets, or whatever they're called in German. The very unique Fallschirmjager helmets, which were basically the standard German army helmet with the rims removed. This was done to prevent the airflow from coming in under the helmet and strangling the jumper, and also so they wouldn't hurt themselves when they hit the ground. Very nicely detailed, no internal detail, so you can't have these modelled on the ground and upturned. However, what I do like about them is they put the tabs on the top of the helmet, so very easy for cleanup. None of this tab on the side of the rim, making it very difficult to clean the model. So now we'll actually have a look at the figures themselves. So there is quite a bit of plastic in these kits, so we will just zoom out so you can get a little bit of an idea. So this is the first sprue of Gentlemen of Fallschirmjager, and you can kind of see that they're unusually laid out. And something, if you haven't really built a Gen 2, is quite unique to Gen 2, is the multi-component assemblies. And I'll draw your attention when we come in closer to some details and some quirks of this range. And this is where taking your time building these kits is really important. If you rush them, mistakes will happen and it can really undo the detail of these models. So let's go and have a closer look. First thing you'll notice, the heads are molded in two parts, face and, well, head. I have no idea why they did this. I think they were trying to say, oh, this is the best way of doing detail. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe Dragon was just going a little bit mad with their molding capabilities. This type of format of molding, if you will, or engineering or tooling, can lead you into some issues. Luckily, as long as the helmet, or should I say the model is, or the figure is modeled wearing a helmet with a chin strap, as you can see here, the seam is hidden by the chin strap. It just makes it look like a definition for the chin strap. However, if the head is modeled without a helmet and without a chin strap, you often get a seam running down between the face and the head, and it does require a lot of filling. However, they are nice figures, and they normally do have a little bit of character to them. So we'll go up here and have a look at the smock detail. So this is how the legs come, and you see the locating pegs for the actual smock parts, and here they are. So the jump smock comes in several pieces. Again, reference material will be needed so you can tell the difference between intentional seams of the fabric and actual seams from the engineering process. Separate boots. These are the later pattern jump boots. Well, not jump boots, but general issue boots. By this part of the war, the Fallschirmjager had more or less suspended all airborne drop operations after Crete. A very nice little detail here is that one of the Fallschirmtruppen is smoking a pipe. The pipe is solid, but if you really wanted it, you could burr that out and make it hollow for the pot. Very nice detail, and when we compare it to a 1:1 pipe, which I just happen to have one in hand, so very nicely detailed and a nice little characterful addition. Other kind of unusual quirks of the kits is the belt buckles are separate. So you either have the choice of photo etch or plastic. I'd actually go with the plastic ones. They have a bit more definition to them. Another thing is the hands are also molded separately, which can be a good and a bad thing. It does make life kind of easier and harder in different ways depending how you want to see it. The smocks themselves, again, molded in two parts. So there will be filling in this. Even if you are a very clean modeler, there will be filling. It's unavoidable. Also, the collars again are molded in two different parts. And the whole idea with this was to break it down to create as much contrast and as much layers as possible. And it does, in some regards, actually fulfill that. Nice little detail here is the swab for the mortar. Any mortar men watching the channel will quickly recognise them and quickly remember how much fun it is trying to get them bastards out of a tube that's fired a couple of times. And yeah, I had a great crack with a 60mm mortar, one of these fucking things. But anyway, moving on and avoiding the rants, I'll just show you the hand detail. Very, very nicely reproduced. A little bit of flash there, you can kind of make it out, but nothing more than running a very sharp hobby blade under its own weight cannot remove. We'll move on to the other infantry sprue. Again, it is very similar to the first one. There's nothing really of difference here. So this is the second crew sprue. Again, it is very similar, so I'm not going to waste too much time on this. Only real difference is just some more hand detail. Again, a little bit of flash here and there on the hands, but that's to be expected. And that is really it. So, identical type of assembly. One of the great bonuses to Gen 2 is the amount of equipment they give you, webbing equipment and other fighting equipment. Often that they give you much more than just enough to equip the troops in the box. So we'll have a look at their web equipment. So we'll pull out for a second. So you get, as you can see, we get quite a bit of equipment. Bread bags, salt bombs, gas hood capes, MP mags, SG mags, and various other types. So we'll have pull in and have a proper look, because the detail on these is quite good. God, I can't speak this morning. So we have our map case, really nicely done. Salt bombs. These are the gas mask hoods that they used to have early in the war. Our bread bags are very nicely done, and various magazines for Lugers and Walters, I believe. We have a machine gun sight case. Also a very nice little detail is with the magazines, or the magazine pouches, should I say. The way they give us an option of 2 pouches left and right open, complete with the magazine visible in the pouch. Very nice, great for diorama making, or if you just want to leave them as like abandoned stuff on the ground. It's very, very handy to have. Also a nice little feature on these is they're detailed on the back side of the ammo pouches too. That is a very handy and very well thought out detail. Anything else really of note there? Quickly to show you some of the holsters, again modelled open, great for dioramas, whether you just want to leave it on the ground to show that's being looted or abandoned, or even have a guy drawing his pistol. And the same too, we have open Mauser mags or Mauser pouches, and here for the Grau 43. So again, nice detail, and as you can see, much more equipment than figures supplied. So this can go into your bits box and you can use it to dress up other models you have in your stash. Very handy, and Dragon does include Gen 2 equipment sets in their newer model releases. No more, but they don't tool their figures like this anymore. It's just they only use the equipment. Then we go on to the other equipment, sprue. So we have some open mess tins, again great for diorama uses. These are the cups for the canteen. Again, you can use that for different dioramas. Very, very nicely done entrenching tools. Detail is very sharp. Our gas mask cases, and this again shows that these are later war Fallschirmjager, as the early war guys jumped with a canvas gas mask bag so they wouldn't injure themselves when they hit the ground. However, these are the standard German Army steel gas mask cases, and the bottom of the cases are molded separately, so you can model these open if you wish, should you find the need. Here we have our canteens, complete with the lids and cups. Again, great for dioramas. That's what I really like about this. It gives you a lot of flexibility. Then we have our mess tin, our closed mess tins, if you want to model them on their webbing. Again, these are what these are. These are the lids that double act as little eating plates. There is a small, as you can see here, a small pin mark. However, you can get around that if you put a little bit of putty in there and paint it, or a little bit of acrylic gel and give it a bit of a tint. You can just disguise it under what the guys are eating. Entrenching tool, finally reproduced. The cover, dust cover for the binos or binoculars up here. I shall just flip that around so you guys can have a better look. Very fragile but very nicely detailed. And what else? Oh yes, they also give us standard German Army helmets, the Stillhelms, or what the hell they're called. You can use these with Fallschirmjager too. I've seen the photographs of Fallschirm troop being equipped with these, especially later in the war from around Normandy. I've seen a couple of photographs of the lads in the Boycage or the Bocage with the Stillhelms mixed in with the German jump helmets. So you can use these too, and regardless what some smart arse will tell you, I have photographic evidence, so it's actually in Osprey book. We have our bayonets and bayonet frogs. Again, very nice detail. We have one drawn bayonet and an empty frog, which is what these things are called. So we don't call these bayonet sheets, they're frogs. Or this is the frog and that's the sheet, to be properly accurate. And again, very nice detail here. Everything is very sharply reproduced, and it's one of the nice features of Gen 2. They are expensive kits. You know, this cost me $20, so what, about €15. But with the amount of extras you get in them, they are quite worth it. So I really hope you guys like this quick look through. Nice with the new camera, I can actually show you the detail. I would recommend it, especially if you can get them on a sale. And I will be doing a tutorial in the future on how to paint late war Fallschirmjager jump pattern camouflage smocks. So thanks for watching guys, stay safe as always and watch out for those buses. Bye bye.